My name is Amund Tømmerbakke, and I work as a sound engineer in Oslo, Norway. A job that makes every day a new and different challenge. Through my years behind the mixing desk and being part of Oslo's thriving music scene, I've gotten to a very special spot. I get to see all the young new talent, work with them, and help them reach their true potential. Some artists' careers take off, while others stay local. Sometimes you also experience music that really touches you. Artists that truly hammers home the fact that this is why you do this. Undergrowth is the show where you get to see some of these bands play live in the studio, join for a podcast after, and send you home with a musical statement.
Yeah.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Timeworn.
Yep.
Why don't you introduce yourself, I guess? You can start with that.
Rob.
Oliver.
Fredrik.
Nils.
Audun.
That was way more awkward than I thought it would be.
Nice.
I all of a sudden felt like I was like taken back to all those shitty online interviews that you hear everywhere else. Yeah. Well,
Thanks for being here.
well,
Yeah.
thanks
It's
for
good to open up.
thanks for coming. Yeah. Well, let's just start off with the what you're doing nowadays. Like you had a tour with Kvelertak last year, was it?
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
And how's life as a band been ever since you came back from that? Like, did you?
Yeah, it's been pretty difficult times. We had some members who had to quit.
Yeah.
Because of various personal reasons and tragically some deaths and stuff. So it's been quite up and down. And then we got a lot of new members, which has helped out the band in a lot of ways, like musically and also logistically as well, because they all bring something new to the table. So it's been very good, but it's been difficult. But we've tried to be as productive as we can in that time period, which has been quite difficult. Since members going in and out and stuff, and trying to record a record and releasing it, but now it's been on the, I don't know, the upswing or whatever you want to call it. Like we've recorded 2 records in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
And then we have a lot of shows lined up so far for this year.
That's
so it's
great.
looking pretty good, I think.
Yeah.
And, unless we somehow fuck that up.
So
I don't know if you can swear, but
So who's the main songwriter in the band? Like,
yeah, that would probably be me. Yeah, that's that guy. Yeah, he didn't join the band until like a couple of years ago, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Didn't know that he gave me all the songs. Really
I'm
nice
your
though.
muse.
Oh yeah. So for maybe the first 2 records, it's been mostly me, more or less. But I've always had the thing of like writing demos and then giving it to people. And then they can put their flourishes on it. So if a part needs to go more times or be repeated and so, I'm not like a control freak in that sense. I like when other people jam up my stuff and they can also say if stuff sucks or we won't use it. So
yeah, because that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you about. Like how, because I had the same philosophy when I was playing in a band back in the days. Like you bring a demo to the band and then everybody invests their stuff in it so that you can put it out as the band and not just like one guy with musicians.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't know. I think it maybe works a little bit it depends on what kind of world you're coming from, but in a lot of instances it's like people who maybe don't want to write stuff or they can't write stuff, but they want to help out in the creative sphere around it, so they have good ideas. So then it automatically falls on one person. So it's not like a visionary thing. It's not like I have to do this and it has to be my way, and all the members can just fuck off if they don't play it exactly right. It's more that it just falls on the one person and then I bring it. And my personal favorite is if I make demos, because sometimes I make stuff that we kind of evolve and it turns into a good song.
Yep.
And sometimes the song is more or less fully formed, even with the vocals maybe and all kinds of stuff. But my personal favorite thing about that is when it's actually recorded with all the different people playing it. Because on the demo, it's mainly maybe me playing it, so it sounds like one
you.
person recording it with a drum machine, and it sounds way nicer with a drummer who has like a own way of playing his stuff, and a bass player that maybe has a different feel or an idea, a guitar player, vocals and such, and it gives it a whole new dimension. So for me, it's an extra cool thing. It's like from this small idea I had at home, and it sounds so much bigger when all the people help out. So it's really good.
That's really nice, because sometimes like people like who's the band bookkeeper, like the money man?
No one.
What money?
We suck,
Yeah,
we
money.
suck at
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, guys, the account's still on 0. Keeping it under control.
Usually we've had like whoever wants to do it.
Yeah.
But
Who's answering all the emails?
Nowadays it's either Audun or me.
Yeah.
Yeah, mostly.
Yeah.
Because we're the only people that seem to know how to work the email account.
It can be really hard.
Yeah,
Scared of
there's
computers.
some
so-
people, I think, so. You would think so.
No, but we all use the email.
Yeah,
I
for
guess.
sure.
Like so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think also this lineup of the band, or like I only just joined at the end of last year.
Yeah.
So I know, like I feel like at least since I joined, we're starting to kind of like figure out who works best with what.
Yeah.
You know, like who has a knack for, you know, like Nils is taking a lot of like merch and stuff like that. Like what do you call it? Not cataloging.
Yeah. So he's the money man then.
Inventory,
Inventory. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
which helps out. Yeah, because if you don't like that stuff, it's boring.
Yeah, because all the responsibilities in a band, like there's a lot more than making just the music. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
who's the designated driver?
That would be this guy. Like until he joined, he's the only guy with a license, so that worked out pretty good.
For all the years.
Yeah. So it's nice on tour to be all
it
the other people not having a
sucks
license.
to be the only one with the license.
Yeah.
Like,
I played in 3 bands at the same time, Timeworn and 2 other bands, and I was the only guy with the license in both all the 3 bands. So I was there was the designated driver.
Well, your liver might thank you for that, though.
Maybe. Maybe they don't know that I drank and drive now.
We actually had instances where that was like backfired on us because we played a show in Sweden once and they told us we could park outside in the street. So we gladly parked our car right out in the street. And then the promoter, he's not the one who told us we can park there, it was some other band. And then he said, you guys can't park there. It will actually be towed away because it was in a snowstorm, so we couldn't see the sign. And we hadn't been to the city before. So we actually had to move the car under the influence, actually like 6 or 7 hours later. So he was actually pretty drunk. And we had to drive it to a parking structure around the corner. And I've never seen anybody drive as careful as him. It's more suspicious than driving recklessly because it was like 10
First gear.
yeah, all the way. And up to the machine, like, hi, I'm
It's like you're
sober.
almost
Let
not
me
driving.
in.
Yeah, almost not driving at all.
Whenever you get behind someone on the road and they're driving too slow,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, they're drunk.
It's either that or a grandma.
Or the smoke.
A drunk
some
grandma,
weed.
maybe?
Yeah, to drunk grandma, yeah. Then you only see hands on the steering wheel. Also.
Yeah, like, so you said you have tons of gigs lined up for this year?
Tons of gigs would be an exaggeration,
Tons of
but
gigs.
we have more gigs than we usually have lined up, which is pretty
We usually
good.
have one.
Yeah, like it's like a day or month-to-month thing with us before. It's
Yeah.
like whatever shows up.
'Cause,
No, we've booked some shows.
Since we're doing this in English and we're all Norwegian-speaking people,
Yeah.
like it's
Except this guy, though.
Oh, he speaks Norwegian.
Yeah, but he's not a Norwegian-speaking person.
Yeah.
it's not your native tongue.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
For all the other people that's not in Norway and hoping that to have some cool bands from Norway come out and play, like, do you have anything you can like share with the internet that's not like not
Yeah. Well,
Something in the works, I guess, but not necessarily booked. I'm not sure when this is being aired, so we might have
this is
played
gonna
already.
be
But,
aired in
When was it?
no, this one is in August actually.
Oh, okay.
so then we
Yeah.
played the shows.
yeah.
Then we've been to Europe. Now we got some Europe shows, just some few.
So
Lined up.
all of those people who saw your concert this summer, and it was absolutely
coming.
amazing.
Super nice.
Hope you got some merch. If not, you can like buy it. Like just
Call me.
get like look at the link below, and then
You
it's
can
gonna
buy
be
some,
fine.
yeah. Or you can go to his house if you're in Oslo.
Yeah.
Yeah, come and visit, or maybe not.
Yeah,
Like,
maybe. Depends. Yeah, but we'll have some shows in just mainland Europe, mostly the west coast of Europe. So it's just Belgium, Holland,
yeah,
stuff like that.
that's cool
And,
though.
maybe some UK shows at the end
Yeah.
of the year.
Trying to get
Sure.
that
Yeah.
happening. but we'll see.
Yeah.
That's nice though. And like, have you guys been thinking about America, like going over?
Yeah, if we had like 1 million kroner grant, so we could go there.
Yeah.
But we don't. And it's a huge market to break into. So
Yeah.
I think it's kind of difficult for a band our size.
Yeah.
A lot of the people in the band have children and steady jobs, so we can't do the...
Pay to play.
No, I wouldn't do that either because I'm slightly opposed to it. Because I know it makes it easier for the top dog band, but I think it's a really shitty deal for the band at the bottom of it. Like you're helping out, but you're also not getting as much back. You can get a lot of exposure, but I think you can do that in other ways.
Yeah.
And it depends on what kind of exposure you want.
Like if you want to piggyback on the on someone else that has already been there, like paying up, like let's say 20,000-30,000 kroner, for example, that would be like 3,000-4,000 euros just to be on the same poster.
Yeah.
Like you're not guaranteed that anybody is going to come to the show to watch you anyway.
Yeah.
No.
So, and like, especially in Norway where people just show up for the main act and then leave. Like, I'm not sure if that's the way that it is all over Europe, because like all cities have their own different culture, but
no, it's not like that in like we've toured a lot with a couple of us with like lower level hardcore bands, and it's sort of the same etiquette there in Europe as it is for bigger venues.
Okay.
Like we did on the Kvelertak tour as well. So people in mainland Europe, they're a little bit better, or not a little bit, they're actually a lot better than Norwegian people or Swedish people to get to show up. Like if the doors are 8, there's at least like maybe half of the audience is there at 8.
Yeah.
So any support band will start early, actually have an audience. And they're actually more interested in buying merch. They're more interested in checking out earlier material. I think actually a lot of people especially in Norway, are extremely spoiled when it goes to going to shows. And the same thing that's been repeated in the news a lot of times of like people talking during shows and shows being just like a drinking, like a binge fest for drinking instead of actually going to see shows and artists.
Yeah.
You know, I was so ashamed when Robert Plant came to Norway to play a show, and he played in one of those sports halls. Like
Who? Robert Plant?
Robert Plant from Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Wasn't that the one that was in the news?
Yeah.
Whereas like people talking.
Yeah, because there
they
were
had
so
a beer
many
tent
people
next to the stage or something.
Yeah, because it was an all ages event, so they had to like kind of fence in all the drinkers. So they were off to the side, and this was up in Tromsø. So there was tons of people, like old Zeppelin fans that came in, and they wanted the drink more than the concert.
Yeah.
And he was like, he told the crowd from the stage, like, hey, can you like keep it down? Like, this is a concert, not a fucking tea party.
I saw a picture on the internet once from a gig where it was quite a big show. I don't know which band was playing, but there was like the fence in front of the stage.
Yeah.
And there was the drinking area where the people that drank. It got all ages show as well.
Yeah.
And they put up like a plexiglass around it because of the noise of talking for the sound engineer. So it's like there was like, it looked so weird. Like the sound proofing plexiglass.
Like the plexiglass, like it's nice for a sound guy to have the plexiglass, for example, around the drums.
Yeah.
Like if if you have tons of other microphones like close to it.
Yeah.
But
if you have deaf musicians in the band that need to hear stuff.
But holy fuck, it just looks so lame to be in like a glass cage, and like those people at the beer garden wouldn't really hear the band in it either, though. So
yeah, actually, on the way home from work last night, I heard some drunk dude on the bus trying to sing some Zeppelin. It's fucking hilarious. He's just like.
Oh, I love that song. I love that song.
Is that Immigrant Song?
It's way worse than that, though. Like, I can't even replicate it.
It's so bad you can't.
So bad it can't be replicated. Yeah, that's not good. I don't know, when it comes to people, the show etiquette stuff in Norway, it's always been pretty bad. except for in maybe some underground scenes when
Yeah.
there's like ebbs and flows of people showing up, but then people exit because life happens.
Of course.
And then it goes back and peters out, so it's not as good. But like in Norway, it's exceptional, the talking while watching something. I watched like Susanne Sundfør, which is a Norwegian artist, but also an international artist. So, but it was extremely awkward and really not fun to watch because she did more or less like an acoustic set, half of it. And there were people next to us talking so loud that it could have just been like a stereo on in the background, which is extremely rude, I think, because I don't think these people actually know how much time and emotions and stuff that's invested into doing a performance like that. And if they would be put on the spot to do it, I don't think they would like some drunk asshole to talk about what happened on TV yesterday.
I think it depends on like what kind of show it is as well, though. Like when you kind of bring in a bigger cross section of the public, you start getting more and more people that don't go to shows that often.
Yeah.
And then they don't know, like they're just like, oh, I'm in a bar, it has alcohol, so I'm just going to talk.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
You know, like whereas like if it's like a more underground show, it's a lot more people that are there for the music. They're not there specifically just to drink,
of course,
or just to socialize.
But there are a lot of people though in like this kind of music that we do. That do that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And then you also have the guy, because if in a band like us, you get the guy that's like talking really loudly during the song, and you play so loud, and then you cut it really fast, and then there's like before the applause or whatever can cut in, so you can hear the end of his voice, like, which is always really fun.
But I think it's like either they talk too much or they pay like really close attention to what you're doing. Like that's what I've heard, like bands that are not from Norway who comes to Norway to play, they notice that like the people there, they listen to your music, not just like go nuts in the crowd or whatever. They really pay attention, and that's good. But it's also like nerve-wracking when you're standing there playing and you're seeing like this guy like paying attention to what you're doing.
Yeah,
and that's there's always one guy.
Although, like, I think a cool add-on to that though is there's the singer from a band called Dangers in the States. Like, I agree with him on a lot of things, but like he was saying like about there's some people in the crowd who just stand there and they just do the thing.
The music police.
No, like, but I think like one thing he was saying is just like, I don't care if you're going crazy and stage diving or whatever, as long as you're going mental in here and like getting something out of the music.
Mental in here.
But no, like if you're getting something out of it, I think that's the most important thing.
My heart is moshing right now.
If you're
my heart is moshing right now.
But the main thing is probably that people are coming there for some form of experience. So I don't like to judge anybody except if they're disrupting whatever is going on. Be that talking too much, be that beating up somebody or throwing stuff, or
fuck crowd killing.
Yeah. Just generally making like the mood worse, which is not supposed to happen.
Touching
some
your
people like
board.
touching pedal boards and stuff like that, which has happened. But it's like just as long as people are enjoying themselves. It's supposed to be a comfortable thing. It's supposed to, even for the band and everybody else, it's supposed to be a nice environment. Yeah.
What's your best live experience ever?
As like for me personally playing or watching something?
Yeah.
Playing wise?
Playing, yeah.
I don't have one specific one because they all kind of blend into each other. But I think
First one that comes to mind.
First one that comes to mind. I think actually has to be the last show of the Kvelertak tour that we did, because not so much as like the live show itself, but more the venue and the people working there, because it's maybe one of the best venues I've ever been to, and they made the whole experience so seamless and effortless that it was it's like playing.
Which one was it?
It was Doornroosje, in Nijmegen, if that's right, in the Netherlands. But the people there were just like super nice, And not that they treated us like rock stars or anything like that. It was more that the atmosphere that they created for us was super comfortable.
The crew hanged out at the backstage with the band and ate together, and it was just really, really chill out.
And they helped us get like pumped up before on the way down to the stage. And
That's really cool.
they were really, really nice. So it felt like playing a show in your PJs at home. So it was super easy to just go on stage. And even like, we're not the biggest band, like we said, but we played in earlier bands and played a bunch live. So for people who know like monitoring, it's usually a big hoax. Like if you're a support act, it's like the guy is like, what do you want? You want this and that in the monitor? And it's never there when you come on stage. So I don't give a shit anyway about that. But the lady that were in charge, because I was on the left side that had my monitor, the like station or whatever, she just had my monitor. And everything that I asked for specifically was in the monitor when I came back on stage. It sounded perfect. So that also is really nice. That's more on the technical side though. But the audience there was also really good that night. And it was more or less packed when we started. We were the only support band, so it was a really nice show. And the Kvelertak guys were really nice. So all around good day.
Nice.
And we got some nice fresh white socks, which is a tour benefit. When you just have stinky socks left.
Did you have fresh socks on the rider?
No, never had fresh socks on the rider. We're not that big. So if we get food and beer...
It's not that expensive. It costs
I know. Actually, we've actually talked about it before.
We have a hospitality rider.
I wrote
Yeah,
one
he
up
wrote
on
one.
the
You
stage
wrote
plan.
one?
Yeah.
Like a case of beer and
Yeah, I just kind of like...
only red M&Ms or something?
No. I just looked at like a bunch of riders that we'd had come through Vaterland, the place that I work at, and just kind of like took the best of each one and just tried to make something that's like reasonable but pretty fair.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I think food-wise, it was like just something that's not trash, if possible.
Pizza Grandiosa.
Yeah, like
for example, if you're a band or a sound guy, like how many times do you just get pizza or burger? And like it's nice with a good pizza, of course. But when you get like that 5 days a week.
Yeah.
I think the most food
especially
I
if
ate
you're
on the
trying to
road was
keep healthy.
punkegryte. I've eaten so much punkegryte.
It's like a punkegryte, which is like a punk rock stew. At least for us, we played a bunch of like autonomous shows, like on occupied houses and stuff, and then you get those like punk stews that can vary from place to place. So either it's like some guy who's actually cooked it with a lot of love, or it's just like somebody who's dumped a bunch of paprika and like coconut milk with some stuff in it, and it's served lukewarm, and you get like bubble gut the next few hours. She's also, but it's better like some rock venues and stuff. Like clubs in Europe also, they also give you here's some food for you, which is like white bread, and then there's like potato chips, and then some fruit, which all of those things don't work together. So it's like, what do you put on the bread? Grapes and potato chips. And there's like no spread.
Never tried a grape sandwich?
Grapes. Grape sandwich. That's a grape sandwich. I don't know. But the food doesn't matter that much to me. It's more or less if the venue's up to par and the people there are okay and they actually show up some people at the show, I'm happy I can go buy some Burger King or whatever other bad food you have to get on the road afterwards.
I did one show once where the bouncer, he was telling everybody that came to the show, like, there's a band playing now, so just like come back in 2 hours, they're finished, so you don't have to pay the cover charge.
That's great. Lovely.
I was so mad.
Lovely.
Oh my god.
That was the vocalist from the band pretending to be a bouncer.
Oh yeah.
Don't come in and see us. I don't know for the other guys if they have a favorite live experience or whatever.
I remember we played, this was not with Timeworn though, but it was with another punk band I played with. We played in a small German town called Chemnitz. It was occupied like a farmhouse, and there was a lot of punks living there, squatting.
Yeah.
But it was really idyllic.
Yeah. That's great.
Rural, maybe. Yeah. And we came. They had like a fire going, and there were like antique furniture, and the whole atmosphere was really, really relaxed, and everyone was super nice, and we were super taken care of.
Yeah.
And everything felt like we were like in a movie because everyone was so happy, and And then they made like a vegan, I don't know what the word is in English, but koldtbord.
Yeah, like a buffet.
Buffet, yeah. A vegan buffet with like everything you can imagine, but in a vegan diet. Yeah, and it was so good food. But we ate it right before we needed to go on stage. We had like 50 minutes and we ate too much, so everyone in the band threw up right after the show. So it was like the best and the worst at the same time. But that place was so idyllic and very nice. Yeah, and we played really good though. Anyways, but
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I remember. Like I think it was the first official show that I had with Timeworn.
Yeah.
Because I'd done like a couple of fill-in shows for guitar and bass and stuff.
Yeah.
But played first official show with these guys, and I just had this I had a bit of like stage nerves and stuff like that, and also like being newest member of the band, only having learnt some of the songs quite recently and stuff like that, so the nerves were high. And I know there was like a short break in like one of the songs where I wasn't playing, and I just I took a sip of water, and as I was taking a sip, I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do that fucking rock star thing where you like blow water up in the air. And I wasn't thinking when I did it, and so like I like went to headbang, and as I did it, I like spurted out the water, and it went straight into the faces of the people standing in front of the stage.
Where was this?
This is at John D.
John D.
Yeah.
Mr. Fuck you crowd.
It was all the people that were only there because I was playing. Like, I don't know if they're really fans of the band. They're just like, yeah, thanks for coming.
That was a pretty good gig though.
Yeah, that was good. That was cool.
That was
Very
really
good, actually.
Yeah.
John D is always pleasant to play.
Yeah,
It's a good venue.
When your pedal board works.
very good.
Yeah, when my pedal board works, yeah. But that'll make anything bad if your pedal board doesn't work. So
Yeah, no, I'm like more talking about the other part of that story.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, with the really nice person that works there that tried to help me.
I kind of liked the gig we did in, I can't remember the name of the place in Tønsberg. No, not
Standard.
Standard. That was pretty cool. Like an old school floor show type thing.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Is that the one with the Pink Floyd wall?
Yeah.
That was the one you.
I
stepped
filled in on
You
bass.
stepped in on the show,
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
For
I like
me, it's
that.
even more fun because it's like the worst bar in my hometown.
Okay.
So it's been like gentrified now, but before when I was a kid, there was always like in the local paper, man beaten up with the bat outside that bar. Or like there was some bullshit like that.
So what city do you come from?
Tønsberg, which is now we're in Lørenskog, right? So it's about 2 hours from here, south.
Okay.
Well, there's nobody from Oslo in the band, actually. He's from around here, and he's from Sydney Fjord.
Yeah.
And I don't know, the rest of the guys are from...
I'm from the west of Norway, close to Bergen, which some of you might have heard about.
Stord.
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 The land behind the mountains.
Yes.
I'm from Arendal,
Arendal.
which is in the south of Norway.
Also Arendal, liksom?
Arendal.
Arendal.
Arendal. Okay.
Så Lillestrøm.
So you're all represented with someone from Arendal anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We have to have that connection, like Tønsberg and Arendal. That's the deal.
Yeah.
Like, if
And
there's no members from
I've
Tønsberg
also
or Arendal,
lived
the band has to be put
in
down.
Tønsberg
Yeah, we're done. Huh?
I also lived in Tønsberg or
Yeah, you also
Nøtterøy.
yeah. So we're representing the best area of Norway.
Perfect.
Too bad the other people aren't from there, but that's on them.
But we've covered the best stories from the road, but like, what is the worst one?
No, come on.
We don't need to tell that one again.
Yeah, you
but,
just don't mention any names. But it
No,
would
we
be,
won't mention any names, but we can. I don't. We can throw that person under the bus any day. I don't know, worst story. I don't know if anybody has a worst story. We have
But the worst place we ever played, or
Yeah,
The worst show.
first show.
the worst show was not that long ago.
Oh.
You know, it's always
Not
a
too
good
far
thing
from
to
here either.
Not too
rather
far from
focus
here.
on yourself than on other people when it's negative, because then you don't have to hand out a lot of hate to other people.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would call it like the worst show, but I remember it was the worst show for some of the people there. But I was driving you guys for what was that festival that you played?
Oh yeah, Kongsvinger.
Yeah. And
Well, it wasn't a
Svein-
bad show. It was a pretty
no,
good show, yeah.
but like Svein's, like the
bass.
old bassist's other project.
Oh yeah, Trist Pike. Yeah, they had a weird show. Yeah.
Yeah, and just everyone in that audience. It was just like all people from like that local town that had come for this festival.
Yeah.
And I don't think they were there for that act.
No.
And they were just...
They didn't like it.
No,
like everyone was just
really,
standing there really confused or angry or just
And they even
entertained.
plugged their music in just by an iPhone, like an auxiliary
like,
cable.
I've done sound for them many times.
Yeah, but
I
it's-
think they're amazing.
Yeah,
man.
yeah, I love it.
Yeah, me too. But for people who don't understand what they're going to, it's kind of abrasive to sit there and watch like two older gentlemen
For the people who doesn't know, like
Either bad on stage with drinking,
they,
like,
with like some really horrible Guitar Pro music in the background.
like just sculling. What was it, like champagne or something?
Yeah, I
Or-
think so. Yeah, but yeah, the songs are really
Kava.
good.
because
Actually.
they come along with all pre-programmed, very like 8-bit type of backing tracks, and then there's two guys with vocal
Vocals.
mics,
Yeah.
and they like it's supposed to be that way,
Obnoxious.
yeah.
Yeah.
I actually
But-
don't think it's supposed to be obnoxious either. I think it's actually what they like, and they're not trying to be bothering anybody. It's just that the outlet for the music is very obnoxious if you don't listen to it, and it's a very like what can I say, niche thing that they're doing. So there is like a small pocket of people here and there who will actually enjoy and get it. For us, it's maybe easier also because we know some of the people, so I can explain what you're about to witness. But if that's like a random concert going to a festival in a small town in Norway, and then there's like two drunk guys with an iPhone jumping around on stage, trying to
I
bother
loved
you.
it, man.
Yeah, me
I just
too. It's
loved
super
watching
good.
the people disgusted by
Yeah, I
it
actually
as
have
well.
20 minutes of video on my phone from the show, where I'm actually mostly filming the audience, like the people next to us. And this angry guy that threw a beer on me and left.
Really?
Yeah, I don't remember. Like I was sitting next to a guy that was super fidgety, and then he just like spilled his beer out towards me, and then went really furiously up and then left. So I don't really think he didn't like the show. But it's a good one. Yeah, I don't know if that's a terrible one, but we have a terrible one from not far from here, where some of the members got really drunk for the first time and ever, I think, and it was a train wreck. It's the
Well,
Yeah,
not
it was-
drunk for the first time ever, but
yeah.
first time ever playing a show.
It was in a forest,
It's raining like
raining. It's a
mofo.
downpour, a
Yeah.
real downpour, and and all the organizers were quite drunk as well. So
Everybody was drunk.
everyone was
Yeah.
very drunk and
And muddy,
muddy and
cold, and
yeah.
yeah.
We played like
Wasn't it nice?
three
And then
like
our car got
half
stuck
songs.
in the field in the mud, and then we had to try and drag it out. But then the person who tried to come and help us with the 4-wheel drive, he was also inebriated, so he managed to like back the car into the front end of our van, which was not particularly helpful. And then he had to go and rouse the local farmer, like the field across, who came with like a small bobcat digger thing.
And he was also
With
drunk.
He was also drunk,
No,
yeah,
he
yeah.
was actually not drunk. He wasn't drunk. Only a sober person. And he actually yelled at the other guy for being drunk. So, but he pulled us out, and then we drove a few meters, and then one of the amplifiers in the back fell over because we didn't prop it up properly. So, like some some like knobs and shit broke off.
Oh.
So that was a sweet ender. Yeah, it was a horrible one. And then we have the same story where like earlier we talked about the car being parked outside. We played the show in Sweden once, in Karlstad, where we drove through a blizzard to get there, and then we got there actually on time, and everything was going quite well. The show was not particularly well organized, so the promoter guy, we actually didn't know who he was until like after we played, which was like at 12, and he's then the guy who told us to move the car. But then he was gonna try and have us show us a good time around town. Where he tried to like make us pay for everything for him, which was also very strange. Not that we can't pay for ourselves, but we wouldn't pay for him.
Yeah.
And then he also didn't give us payment for the show, which he said he was supposed to do. And then he was supposed to take us to the place where we could like sleep over, like I don't remember, like a house he said maybe or something in the email. But it turned out to be like the local county rehearsing venue.
Oh, okay.
And then when we got there, he also said he would pay for the taxi, but then he ran out of the taxi before everybody was out, so we had to pay for it. And it was, I don't know how far away it was, but
it was like 20 minutes drive or something?
Yeah, 20 minutes drive, so it was like a 40-minute walk. And it was freezing cold outside. And when we tried to get in, he didn't know the alarm code for the building. So we stood there and thought like, oh, well, now the police are going to come and arrest us for breaking in and stuff. And then when we finally were super tired and really annoyed with this guy. Also, side note, our vocalist also got busted for peeing outside in the city of Karlstad an hour before, so we had to pay a ticket and stuff. When we came there, and everybody was just tired and wanted to go to bed. He was trying to get us to party more. We're pretty partied out. And then he spilled like a soda on the one member who was sleeping, so his like sleeping bag got filled with soda. So he woke up in that, and he also stepped on our vocalist's glasses and broke them and didn't say sorry, and he didn't want to replace them. So as a vengeance the next day, because he was a really complaining guy, we didn't order a taxi back into town. So we decided to walk back in like minus 15.
Yeah.
And he was complaining the entire way, which wasn't that thought through, maybe. It wasn't much of it was more of a punishment to us, I think. Yeah, and the show also sounded like shit because there wasn't the sound guy.
It was what's like the second day of Christmas or something.
Yeah, second day.
So
of Christmas.
every day, everyone there was like really drunk as well. Really drunk. Yeah.
So it was a pretty horrible
Yeah.
show, I think. Yeah, it's the worst one I've had, maybe, or no, I've had some worse ones, but with this band though.
Because I saw a poll on, I think it was Facebook, one of these groups of musicians, and someone asked the question, like, what is the biggest obstacle that you encounter as being a band? And like one of the most upvoted comments was like, unreliable people.
Yeah, I was just going to say people who don't show up. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
That's the most regular one, I think. It is. We're also, since we're a little bit on the older side, not really old, but like a lot of bands start out when they're pretty young and then they stay active. A lot of people who maybe our age, they quit a little bit before we're still showing up, hoping there's a seat.
How many of you guys have families?
2 of us have families.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the rest have a lot of responsibilities too. Like there's no like man-childs in the band, so that's good. But like my point was, we're sort of an amalgamation of people left over from bands that probably had people who were a little bit not serious, or like we've all come from the situation of like being the person that maybe wants to go a little bit further and can do a little bit more, but we've been held back maybe a little bit by not people who are doing it on purpose, but they don't share the same vision maybe.
Yeah.
So, and they take it more as a hobby to do if somebody else sets it up for them, but we're more of the people that actually set it up. So like what you were saying earlier on the podcast, that it's really nice to get a lot of people who actually take a part in everything.
Yeah.
They actually want to do stuff. And
because that's so important, like that everybody is in sync when it comes to like vision and ambition, because that's the number one thing that happens to bands when they've been working for like 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and things starts to happen, and then people are flaking off left and right because like, no, I can't come to the show next weekend because my girlfriend has a second birthday or whatever it is, like yeah, like all kinds of stupid reasons.
Yeah, I don't know, but I think it also has to do something with like people have I don't know necessarily different visions or whatever, but I think that it's hard for people to commit to something because I don't think they know how much work goes into everything, and a lot of people lack the general like work ethic that's needed to do something on your own. And also it depends on what you want to get out of it. Like some people want to get really big or huge or something, and for me that's not necessarily the point. If we can get it to a label where it's like sustainable, maybe I would be really grateful for that. That's the only thing that I need. I don't need flashy stuff or anything like that.
What record label are you on now?
The
Loyal Blood.
That's the one who put out the last record.
Loyal Blood.
Everyone was like,
Loyal
LBR
or royal?
Records.
Loyal blood.
Loyal
it's a
right.
label based out of Bergen.
Oh, okay.
by
So-
Yngve from Blood Command. Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, Yngve Andersen.
So, but are you like locked down to that deal for the next record, or is it like?
No, not necessarily. No.
No, they have an option as you usually have, but
Yeah.
we don't know. We already have a new record recorded since we had a lot of downtime, as like you previously asked about, because of all the member changes. There were a record that was written and recorded while all that stuff was happening, which we thought maybe we were going to get sorted out. But unfortunately, there's something really tragic behind it that nobody could do anything about.
Of course.
That nobody could like help or stop. So just had to put everything on hold, which was perfectly fine. But that left us a lot of time to like work on new material. So then we had like a record that we could re-record, and we also, before we started booking shows and stuff was happening again, and Rob joined. We thought it would be better to use that time to actually record something to just keep us busy, because that's also a big problem when life comes in. The older you get with bands, is like if there's no concrete agenda for everybody to do, then everything sort of just like wishy-washes away, and nobody does anything because there's like nothing for us to do. So it's nicer to have like a project to get everybody to work on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Or good to have something like in the future that you're working towards.
Absolutely.
This time around it was pretty guerrilla style with the recording session. No, we did the album that's gonna come out someday, I guess.
This year?
Only in 4 days, like recorded it gung ho.
Yeah.
So
are you thinking about like some kind of date or part of the year where this album is going to come out?
That depends entirely on what the record label would like to release the record.
Yeah.
Because we haven't shopped it around to anybody yet, and the mix is more or less done now. Like we're revising the mix as it is.
Do you want to name drop the studio? That's
We can actually do, because he's a really, really nice guy, and it's Frederick's suggestion of a band that we like. It's Andy Nelson, and he works out of Bricktop Studios in Chicago. He was previously in a really good band called Weekend Nachos that we really enjoy. And we actually he knew, but I didn't know that he did any recordings. And we actually
because he did some he had done some mixes for a band that several of us really like, called Harm's Way.
Yeah.
And I was like, the sound was so cool, and I've never actually thought about it, and I suggested it, and I listened to a lot of his stuff he'd done, and it's like a no-brainer actually to just try him out.
And he's a really good guy too.
Really good.
It's already sounding very, very good.
Very good. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So then it's just mastering left, which we are not sure about where we'll do it yet. We have some place in mind that we like, but Andy works with like 2 different people, I think, on a regular basis. So maybe it will go to whoever he likes. Maybe we'll see. And then the cover is on the way as well.
Yeah.
So
Who's the artist for the cover?
it's a Danish guy called Niklas Mortensen.
All right.
He plays in a Danish like tech death band called Billy Boy and Poison. He's
right.
done some stuff for Stranger Things season 3, the artwork
that's
for some of that.
Yeah.
And and
Does
a
like
lot of
T-shirts for Gojira.
and
stuff
Azalea
like that.
Dying,
Yeah.
Gojira, Die Artist Murder, and stuff like that. He's very talented.
Very
That's
talented.
perfect. Yeah. I didn't write down anything.
No.
How long have we been going on?
45 minutes.
Oh, that's great. Well, then we should probably
Wrap it up.
and go for the last song of the episode, and so you guys can just get ready. And
Right.
Let's do it.
fantastic.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
that was Timeworn. And make sure you like and subscribe to our channel. Buy some merch from Timeworn in the link in the description. And yeah, thank you for this time, and I'll see you in 1 month.